Flat Earth Debate live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Brian's Logic, Neil, Click OK, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, it's good to be here. Everyone have a good weekend, hopefully so. Well, that's good to know. I had mixed reviews from all the videos I released over the weekend, so there was a whole bunch of Omi videos and shorts that I released periodically, mainly on Sunday because of Ballbusters. But yeah, they were released over the weekend. Members had already seen them all. But after the fact, a few people were like, I don't like these videos. You're like, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time. But they're generally well received by the people who do comment, enthusiastically so. But also there's people who detract away from those Omi videos. In any event, there's an Omi video playlist with all of them in. I think I added them all. So if you want to see the most recent ones, just go to that playlist. Alternative, if you don't know what we're talking about, just check out the playlist on the Nathan Oakley 1980 YouTube channel homepage. And you can see that playlist full of people, randoms on Omi TV, going to find out that Earth is flat and space is fake and things of that nature, all in good fun. There we go. Any of you lot got an opinion on this?
Yeah, I think space is fake.
Oh, what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, flat Earth seems crazy at first, and then you look into it and it's like, oh, something's wrong. Yeah, and then you come to the realization that it's true. It's the truth.
It's not what I meant either. I mean, has anybody got an opinion on whether they're good, bad, or indifferent? The Omi TV videos, essentially flat smacking as it used to be known, random strangers on the internet, from the comfort of my own living room, I might add. That's what I was asking.
I think red cows are generally nicer than green cows.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off for humorous effect because I know that you're a detractor.
Yeah, not you, Brian. Yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah, just for the humorous effect of it.
Yeah. You want honest feedback, but you don't want honest feedback, right? Okay.
No, go on, seriously. I know you're a detractor. Brian from the start said, I don't want any part of it, and every time I start recording them, he dutifully disappears immediately. And it isn't unnoticed. Everybody comments on it immediately. There's a slight hush as Brian disappears. Oh, you're doing Omi videos? Bing bong. Oh, Brian's gone, is he? Why is Brian gone? Brian doesn't approve. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like the Omi TV thing. I don't like it. I don't. It's not that it's bad. It's that I don't trust Omi TV. I don't trust some of the people on there who would say that they're all, I don't want to do it. So from day one, literally day one, I click out. As soon as in the after show, when you start doing that, I just leave and say I'll talk to you later. I do. But what I was coming in to say was that I was coming in to say that I think red cows are better than green cows, which was another complete non sequitur to what you were looking for. I was trying to be humorous. But you ruined it because you pre-assumed that I was coming in to attack your Omi TV videos.
I did ruin that. I am sorry. But I have got one of the, just on the same topic, because you're saying you don't trust the people on Omi. So this is one of the very short clips from Omi. Like, comment, share, or subscribe on whatever platform you are watching this on. What's with the mask?
Safe for me.
Safe?
Yeah, here very danger.
You're in danger of what? Ninjas?
Yeah, dangerous. In the
Dangerous.
Omi TV. Yeah, very dangerous for me. So I need mask 31.
Okay, you're old enough to go onto YouTube then.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm making videos telling people Earth is flat and space is fake.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's part of most of the world's religion. You were taught it in school, right? That you're on a ball in a sky vacuum?
Yeah, give me the channel name.
Nathan Oakley 1980. You get the general gist. I won't play all of it. Anyway, that's what you get on Omi. Some of them go on for 40 minutes plus. Some of them go on for 30 seconds. Just depends on how the person responds to what I've said to them. But there's a whole playlist of them. Check them out. Obviously, they're controversial. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Anyway.
I just don't like.
Go on, Brian.
No, I'm just saying OME TV. It's just one of those things. It's just as a website, it's not protected enough or whatever yet. If you know what I mean, that's how I view it. It's one of these things that will either be bought out by a bigger company and made into something more mainstream, or it will, you know what I mean, it'll kind of go backwards. It's one of those things. It's like it's just one of those things. I just don't. You know, anyone can say they're any age on it. You know, this kind of stuff. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't trust it. The minute I saw it, I got a bad feeling. When I look at it, I get a sick stomach. That tells me everything.
Okay, well, I normally do like straw polls and such from the audience when there's controversy like this. But what I'm going to do in this instance is invite my own audience, right? There's, I don't know how many people are watching, maybe 50 people. We've only just started. Yeah, 57 people watching. Go and click on the video that I've just played. It's a shorts video, and leave it a comment, right? And what I want you to comment on is, do you approve? Do you disapprove? Now, if you're not the type of person that typically comments, you're the kind of person I'm actually asking to do this. That is to say, click on the link. It's only a 60-second video, so you're not going to miss a load of live stream. But just do it as the comments swinging its way by now. So if you're in the amongst the 50-odd, 60-odd people that are watching currently, click on it and leave a quick comment to me. And just tell me your opinions on it. I understand that it's been Brian's distraction from it and my saying, obviously, I'm trying things new to generate more interest in the subject matter. And it's been well received for the most part. But I'd like to get your comments. That is to say, my most dedicated audience, which is the people that are typically here earliest. Especially if you don't normally comment. Go and click on that link. Leave me a comment and just tell me so I'm aware, based on what you see in the video, because it's a fairly unobnoxious, or whatever the word is, video in that regard. The guy's just there to chit chat. There's a bit of a humorous aside about the fact he looks a bit like a ninja, and you know, he finds out Earth's flat, space is fake, and then we move on. It's very short, so it's not at all offensive. There's no swearing, other than him saying that he feels like he's in danger, which is kind of the reason I'm picking this video, to get comments and opinions on it, because this particular session of Omi videos has been a right mixed bag of people expressing their views on it, one way or the other, as opposed to just a wave of praise that it's something new and exciting. So there we go. Now that they've been done for a while and people have got familiar with me doing them, it'd be nice to get a more up-to-date opinion now people have got to grips with what it is and what I'm doing there. And there's probably a playlist of 50 to 100 videos now easily. Anyway, there it is. There's a link. Please click on it if you are actually watching now live, and just leave a quick comment. Just tell me what you think. So I've got a broader idea. Go on, Craig.
Are there any other platforms you could do a similar thing?
Well, it's just, for me, it's just perfect. It's just a way of connecting to random people. So I don't care if someone was to say this other platform does the same thing. It's going on to TikTok and YouTube. So in that regard, and I think automatically, is it Odyssey automatically re-upload my YouTube videos? There's various different platforms that it does make its way onto for consumption. But in terms of the acquisition of a random stranger, I don't care which platform it is. If people just don't like Omi because it's got an association with people behaving badly on the former version Omegle, then so be it. I was unaware of that when I started using it.
No, it's just a thought. But yeah, they do go up on Odyssey as well.
Say that again?
They do go up on Odyssey when you post them. And yes, I was just wondering if there was any other that we could give a try. That was all.
Yeah, I'm always up for doing new things. I mean, to my knowledge, there's very few new formats in the Flat Earth community where you can say, well, that's new. I've not seen that done before. And not that I'm boasting, but, you know, nobody else had done it. Then I come along and do it. Lots of people have been on those platforms to chat to randos, but, you know, turning it into a video about flat Earth specifically and space being fake specifically with random strangers, publicised on YouTube and TikTok and Odyssey or wherever else you might find Nathan Oakley 1980 videos. Like I say, I don't mind where I gather up that from, but I'm not, you know, I like being in my seat. So actually, I've always said this, I'm not for street activism. You know, I'm not a big fan of it. I've done a little bit here and there, but it doesn't appeal to me. If I'm out and about, I'd rather do something more fun than talking to the great and washed. So that's not my bag, but doing it here to easily record, instead of having to cope with the crap audio that you get from a phone and batteries running out and phones overheating, I hate doing it out in the field. You know, I found it tedious when I was doing media studies. Just everything's obnoxious in terms of how it functions. When you've got a plug and mains, everything becomes easier. And they've designed this stuff to make it easy, right? They want people to communicate back and forth in an easy manner in the modern age. So, yeah, you know, taking advantage of that. Why not?
Just so you know, look, you do whatever you do. I understand you need to do what you have to do for your channel. I get that. So I'm not trying to put it down to the point where you don't do it. It's something I don't like. That's all.
No, I get that. It's one of those, we're a strong enough community where people can raise their objections and give their reasonings and say, look, I'm not trying to detract you from doing that. In the same way as I say everyone's entitled to their belief and wish Simon well all the best, Simon Dan, right? It's like, well, why would you do that? Shouldn't he be your enemy? Shouldn't you hate him? No, actually, no. You might perceive it that way, but it isn't that way. And in the same way, Brian's telling me, you know, I'm not trying to say don't do it. It's just, I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. It's not something I approve of. But I get it. You're a YouTuber and you're going to do what you do. Doesn't mean I'm not going to express my grievances about it. And he can. It's nice that Brian can. Best be grateful.
Well, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't be in a position where you have to do that, but you have to do it because of the position YouTube places you in. I totally understand that. I also have a chance.
Check it out, Brian talking to me like I'm some sex worker. I am a total.
Yeah,
I've got to do it. I've got to do it.
So much you have to do this, you know. A flat-out sex worker, yeah.
I'm demeaning it and belittling it because it's so true, right? Yeah. Do I want to sit after I've finished doing my do for the day that consumes most of the day anyway? Do I want to do extra do? So I've got a slight chance of it not dipping below being able to pay the bills with it. That's the revenue income stream that YouTube generates. No, if I see it dip, I'm like, I've got to do something. So you end up racking your brains for something to do, and then you end up with Omi being the result. Well, that's done out of necessity. And it's sad, and I'm glad people like it. But it'd be nice if I didn't have to do 4 videos a day. Like, on average, probably higher. It'd be nice if I didn't have to do that. But I do. It's out of necessity. But you're right, Brian.
Well, Nathan, we all see these other channels on YouTube. They could have 70, 170, 570,000 followers, right? So loads of them. And their live shows are basically just a heap of rubbish and false, incorrect information. Most of the time, right? So I find it really unjust that anyone would have to do what you're doing just to keep the lights on, basically. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to do that.
I shouldn't have to, but by the same token, the fact that I have to do it means that I do drum up a huge amount of community support. Like, people go, whoa, you know, look at the amount of graft he's got to keep doing just to keep above the waterline. And people go, oh, I think I will actually chuck him a bone here. You know what I mean? He could probably do with it. And people do. So on the one hand, you go, well, if I had an easy ride on YouTube and was generating a couple of grand a month in ad revenue, it's nowhere near, and it never probably will be. But if I was, and I was like, well, I'm on easy street then, and there's people out there be like, that's a pittance to me, you know. But either way, regardless, if that was the case, there wouldn't be the community support, and it wouldn't turn into things like you specifically, Brian, having a discussion about whether or not the material that's being produced is appropriate for you to put your stamp of approval next to. Those sorts of communities don't get built unless there's a little bit of strife and turmoil. And I'm just trying to be a bit glass half full and say, no, there's a positive to be seen in being downtrodden and censored. I'm just being a bit optimistic about it, or trying to be.
No, I understand. It's positive action, necessary positive action, and I get that. I mean, I can't attack you for that. If you were doing it and you didn't need to do it, I'd be like, come on, why are you doing this? But I know you must do what you must do to keep the channel, to generate enough revenue to pay the bills.
Indeed. But we could talk about this all day. We did it last week, so it'll get a bit crass if we keep doing it. And I have bleated last week for whatever reason, probably because I'm poor, which is always going to be the case. So I could bleat about it all day long, but we're not. We're going to cover a video. So this one's called Blimey Cow. I think I've said that right. Not 100% sure. In either event, I'm going to put his link. The idea being that if he was to respond to us, he'd do the same for me and publish my link to his audience like I'm doing now. So if you are in the live stream chat, I know I've just literally done a call to action and asked you to go and toddle along to my own video. But in this instance, this is to share in the YouTube algorithmic love for Blimey Cow, if I'm saying it correctly. Please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And although this seemed obvious when I say it that way, I'll spell it out in no uncertain terms. That is to say, all one word with an @ symbol, then Nathan Oakley 1980, all one word, sent me. And a positive message, as in, don't put him down if we've been particularly critical. Don't swear, because you'll just get immediately removed by the YouTube bots. But the idea is that you click on the link. Why isn't it showing? It's because my... I haven't sized that quite correctly. Let me just sort that out. There's the link, just to prove that I'm not just lying. Please click on it if you are watching live, and just let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And I'll repeat this a couple of times so that people can actually go along to his video and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And there has been occasions when the video's been new. This one's 3 days old. Where the videographer or the person associated with the videographer has literally come along to the live stream as a direct consequence of people going along. Also, QE's done a review response sort of thing when they go through the comments on one of the videos that we covered, because a load of my channel members and subscribers had toddled along to a videographer we were covering and let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And QE went through those. So I'm not saying that you will get your comment responded to, but there is a reasonable chance, as it has happened literally in the last couple of days. So moreover, like I say, the main purpose in this is that if he was to respond, I would hope he'd do the same for me. Share the YouTube love and put a link to Nathan Oakley 1980's video, as I'm doing for him. So there we go. Hopefully that's about enough time for people to actually toddle along and do this. And we'll pop the video on and hopefully we'll get some responses. So that you're in the know, he's doing a comment response, if you can't tell by all my takeaways. But comment responses is what he's doing. And somebody in the comments has said, should I marry this person? They're potentially a flat earther. Dun, dun, dun. And this is his response to that. So there you go. That's enough lead in for you to not need the first couple of minutes of video. Anybody got any comment on it? It was Mush that shared it. Did you want to give us a preamble?
No, man, I don't know anything about the video, Nathan.
You just shared it blind? Outrageous.
I did.
Round. But can I believe him? I know it will come up over the years, and I don't want him to feel like he needs to hide it. But every time it comes up, it bothers me so much. What should I do?
Malnutrition is the world's most widespread health crisis.
Bloody ad straight
and
away.
It makes
How annoying. An unskippable 15-second ad right at the beginning. We have watched a couple of minutes, to be fair. Oh, another ad. We will get to the video, I promise.
You know, with the flat earthers, like, okay, I believe that the earth is round, okay? Wow. I don't talk about it all the time.
What, you don't express your beliefs in a flat earth or round earth all the time? Well, okay. I mean, that's category error for us straight away because we don't believe in a globe or a flat earth. It's measured flat. And those measurements turn into your globe belief that you don't often talk about.
But, like, it's almost like veganism, Josh. and I'm gonna get a lot of people. I think you can talk about this a little bit more freely in 2024, Josh. When 2012, no, God help us, you couldn't say anything. But you know, it's not nothing against the vegans, but we all know vegans talk about veganism.
He's not wrong. Yeah, when you find yourself being introduced to a vegan, there is a good chance that you'll find out they're a vegan pretty quickly. So he's not wrong, is he?
A lot, okay?
Would you say that's comparable to flat earthers, though? Anybody agree? I mean, I have plenty of interactions in my daily life, especially because I take my kids to various different home education classes at other people's houses. Some are great distances away, interacting with various other parents and kids all day long. And none of them know my position in terms of how Earth's measured and what I talk about. It's just never even come up, to my knowledge, not that I can remember. Anybody disagree? Are we like vegans, that as soon as you introduce yourself, you've got to tell them that you think Earth's flat if you're a believer, or you know Earth's flat if you're like us?
No, I actually only told someone very recently, and I know them for 20 years.
Right. I mean, I think that's the comparison he's making, though. That flat earthers are like vegans. You immediately find out they're vegan. But I don't know. I just certainly don't agree.
Where people who's eating a diet that's like, you know, been normal for the past 1,000 to 6,000 years, maybe, Josh, then you don't talk about it. It's just a part of your life and you move on, okay? But the flat earthers, they have a certain passion where they bring it up all the time. I've been around people like that. You know, it makes up if you're a person like me who enjoys talking.
I mean, this is a stereotyping fallacy, obviously. You can give your examples where you've had individual interactions with people and how they may be like this. But as we've already covered, that's not me. And I sought anybody's affirmation that they would automatically introduce themselves as a flat earther, as your comparison with veganism, I think does stand with the comparison, at least the veganism bit. Yeah, I've met several vegans. I couldn't really stereotype the entire community with it. But there we go. I'm saying it's a reasonable comparison because I've met several vegans that have all told me that they're vegan straight away. Maybe my own standard is a bit lax here too.
Talking about kind of strange topics. It's an interesting topic of conversation, maybe once or twice. But if she's married to this guy and he's just bringing it up like every time they're like eating dinner and it's like on a flat plate and he just brings up a conversation about the flat earth because of a plate.
The best part is that she said he's...
I mean, this is his crappy hypothetical example, so I'm not going to bear any criticism to it. He's just coming up with a hypothetical example.
He's not quite there yet. He's thinking about it. Like, this is like a...
He's talking basically what's going on. He's watched a couple of YouTube videos. He's met a friend. This is...
How does this guy know this? He's divining the thoughts of the partner of a commenter, and he's decided that this guy's watched a couple of YouTube videos.
This is the thing that I appreciate about this guy. I like flat earthers because they seem like they genuinely want to find the truth and they're willing to ask questions that are hard to ask and maybe be kind of like Yeah,
and I don't necessarily agree with this either. We encounter plenty of flat earthers that just regurgitate the feast of nonsense that they came across with the videos that you're stereotyping the guy as having watched.
excommunicated from certain, like, okay,
You like them because they get excommunicated for asking questions. That's why you like them. Strange reason to like somebody, but fine.
admire people like that. I enjoy the spirit, but it just feels a little off the mark to me. and so it's like great energy, but wrong application.
Not execution.
Yeah.
This is meaningless drivel. Does anybody extract anything of relevance from what he just said before I move on?
No.
Yeah, wrong execution. That's how it feels like to me. So I can see her being, believing that the Earth is round is turned off by this.
It's like a
So her belief might step in the way of her potential love for a potential partner to reproduce with. I see. I mean, yeah, I would also say when I tell people that they're entitled to their beliefs, don't let your beliefs stand in the way of love. It's definitely not a good idea.
quarterback launching that ball perfectly down the field for an interception. It's like, the ball was thrown great.
But why'd you throw it to the other team? I personally would just use your discretion. Let me put it this way. If the Flat Earth guy is talking about this once a week, then this is a problem to me, okay? If he knows that you kind of disagree with this.
Okay. So if once a week the female in this, because that's the person leaving the comment, uses globe terminology just once a week, then what, give her a miss? She's worth kicking to the curb if she occasionally mentions, the atmosphere is a bit rough today. Yeah? If she talks about people all over the globe believing in something, you got to kick her to the curb if she does it more than once a week. Okay. I mean, this is a young, handsome, jock-looking fella, and maybe you're batting him off. But I doubt the majority of your audience are as handsome and as lovely as you and have the opportunity to just pick and choose based on their belief being expressed once or twice a week. I mean, this guy's standards are something else, aren't they? No, it's not us. It's worth mentioning for us. I mean, it's kind of not on topic, but still very amusing to me.
If he's
I remember being handsome too and batting him off, son. Doesn't last forever.
talking about it once a month, if he's talking about it once every 6 months, then whatever, I don't care.
It's like it's just a thing he thinks about sometimes. It doesn't affect his life.
Yeah.
But yeah, once a week.
In a way, I've also got to agree with him. I can't honestly remember. I think the subject of flat Earth with me and my wife does probably come up once or twice a year. That is to say that in spite of, she's not here at the moment, I think she's out of tennis with my two daughters, but occasionally she'll overhear something that's new and she might bring it up with me. Yeah? So we'll be eating dinner one day and she'll start asking me something about the stars or something along those lines. But it probably does only come up once or twice a year that she's asking me something about the subject. So on the one hand, I want to say it's an unreasonable standard. But on the other hand, if I say, well, if your beliefs aren't being considered in terms of whether or not you love a person, and in this case want to have kids with them, because he has discussed that, then this shouldn't come into it and therefore wouldn't come up maybe more than once or twice a year. If you had a Muslim and a Christian married, for the sake of argument, and neither had converted, it might be the case that their individualistic religious beliefs might only come up once or twice a year when you go, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that about your faith. But for the most part, it wouldn't ever be a contentious issue, and shouldn't be. It shouldn't be even a consideration if you're talking about love. I don't know, this is so, to me, it just seems so silly. Anybody else agree?
Yeah, this is stupid.
Well, if you know it's flat and the person you're with has a globe belief, that could be problematic.
No, that's exactly the situation I'm in. My wife has a globe belief. She expresses it as a belief and understands it's a belief, and will occasionally ask me about it. It's never caused a problem. I mean, that's one example. I'm the only example, maybe, but I don't know. But I'm just saying, that straight off the cuff, I would say, no, that's not a problem. My wife's never come out and said, I am a flat earther, or declared that as such. And, you know, she's happily talking to the kids about globe stuff and teaching them globe stuff, as will I. It's not like it's not really a part of our day-to-day life, as weird as that may sound. It's strange to say it, right? Because I've got a show about it. You might think all I do all day is talk about flat Earth and point out the associations and anything I ever visualize or see or do. Actually, no, it couldn't be further from that. It was just, I don't know, there's a perception that this suddenly consumes people, because it does. It's just not the case for everybody. Just because you find out there's a massive deception doesn't mean it consumes your life. It certainly doesn't for me. It consumes my work.
Well, it does consume your life in a lot of ways, Nathan, because you have a show that's ongoing for close on a decade now, so it has consumed a lot of your life.
Yeah.
But I understand your situation, where I can, like, my point being is this, right? I know it's flat. So if I'm with a girl and she believes it's a globe, how many times is she going to end up looking at me going, that doesn't make any sense? You know, or having to say, you know, you have a point there. I mean, that can become a bit difficult for the person. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking rubbish.
Yeah, it's on a different sideline.
If you know it's flat, you don't have any belief about it. I know it is. I can show the measurements. I can show exactly how everything is done, all the geometry of it, right? No bothers. I know that. So someone with a belief in something else, in it being something else, they can only, it's like they can only fail. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have to kind of stand there or sit there and watch the person's beliefs fail over and over again.
Yeah, it's a sideline to whether or not, you know, you should let it interfere with your love.
Yeah, he's in deep.
He's in deep.
We don't want anybody to talk about anything but Jesus himself once a week. Once a day, I mean, come on. If you're a creative person or someone wanting to start a business or someone who already has a business, then the box is based site as a you don't have noticing the thing and it went off.
Would you believe me if I told you that coffee?
A few months ago about having a hard time with a guy who's 30 who likes me. I'm 19 and we go to the same church. I told him we need to just be friends and nothing more, and he understands. But we hung out a few times since then. Last time I feel we crossed the lines of friendship. We did sunset photography near my house. While we were watching it, he kissed me on the head.
I think there's several other comment responses that have got nothing to do with Flat Earth. We'll just play to the end just to make sure this isn't another Flat Earth related one.
I told him that made me uncomfortable and not.
If you're watching live, I'm so sorry. This is the way it is. Sometimes you don't know if you're doing it cold. It might just be that he's used that as the title of the video, but not all of the video's comment responses associated. Either way, I've put a link to the video. There's 92 people currently watching. Please share this show, if you haven't done so already, and indeed let Blimey Cow know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. As I say, I've put a link to his video. If this is the end and we're signing off at this point, I don't know. We'll find out shortly.
Again, and he understood. We talked about, I can't even imagine being in that situation. Like, personally, as the girl, I can't, and as the guy, I can't. It's so uncomfortable and it's wrong. How can you misread the room so much that you're like, perfect opportunity to kiss her on the head?
Yeah, I think we've done. I think that's the sum total of the Flat Earth content. So yeah, thank you very much. Interesting. Not a great deal of criticism towards him beyond a few stereotyping fallacies and such like. Yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed that. That was quite good. Please let him know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. You can see his link going by in the YouTube live stream chat right now. Thanks, Mush. Interesting, if nothing else. People love to talk about flat earthers and how they're stupid and potentially not going to be a love interest as a result. It's amazing. Even in their own words, she doesn't let her globe belief get in the way of this. Okay. Anybody else notice
Nathan,
that?
I do have a video of me debating another pilot, and he had 270k followers. He actually did a reply to one of my other videos, and then he sort of claimed that he does account for curvature. So I was like, I DM'd him, and I'm like, well, let's have a debate. And he accepted, and it actually happened. So it's an interesting one.
Where have you put the link? We'll have a look at that now. We've got enough time.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's pretty anticlimactic, right? So yeah,
it was a little bit, wasn't it? But it was all right. Yeah, if you can stick it in Discord live stream chat, somebody will hopefully post it in Master B, and we'll have a little listen.
I'll put it in Master B.
Are you in Master B already?
Yeah, I am.
Why aren't you in G Plus then?
Yay.
Why'd you join Discord if you're in Master B? Oh, don't worry about it. Anyway, post it in Master B, I'll bring it up. You can join the other panel. Maybe you were unaware. The link gets posted just before the live stream starts, and you can join the main panel if you want to. In any event, hopefully he'll post it in a second. There we go.
So yeah, I didn't know about that with the joining the panel thing. But yeah, I'm in Master.
Drag the slider to do the puzzle. What? Just link me to Angels. Have you linked me to your front page as opposed to the video?
Oh, hang on. Let's check.
That's no worries. Not like we're streaming live to an audience. No stress, no pressure. Okay.
Right, try that one.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
All right, you global pilots, listen here. You fly straight and level over the Earth, and you never take into consideration the curvature of the Earth.
I'm an airline pilot, and we do account for the curvature of the Earth. In straight and level flight, stick a bowling ball down the aisle. It will roll to the back of the plane. That's because the plane in level flight actually flies about 2 degrees nose up. The autopilot.
In level flight, the flight actually flies 2 degrees up with respect to horizontal in level flight. So he's just made two statements that prove a flat Earth. Is he demented?
Hey, Nathan, he didn't know what rigidity in space was. I had to teach him.
Didn't know how gyroscope works.
Autopilot is constantly making adjustments to where the plane wants to go.
Look at the plane here, right? And now we're going to fly all the way to the equator over here. The plane's nose, relative to where it was before, is dipped down. So let's fly to
Why are you so close on your mic? You're not here, all of that distortion.
pressure altitude around a globe without dipping the nose down and see what happens. All right, we're on the top. We're near North America. We fly around to the equator. Now, we're not going to drop the nose down because every pilot admits they never need to do that, so let's do it. We go, we end up 90 degrees to where we were before, and now the plane is facing out towards space. And now you're going to cry that gravity just magically tethers you along with the globe. Well, sorry, but that doesn't work either because there's something called the attitude indicator, which is this thing here, which has a gyroscope connected to it, which maintains rigidity in space. And if you were to tether around a globe, because it maintains rigid in space and because the gimbal base or the actual whole aircraft rotates around that gyroscope, you would see it on the artificial horizon, which never happens. If a pilot was to fly from North America to Australia, which are on opposite ends of the globe, the artificial horizon would show no change in orientation, proving that you just fly straight and level to your destination over a flat Earth.
Yeah, it's pitch attitude, but yeah.
Maintains rigidity in space, right? So if you were to tilt the plane up, down...
Why didn't you wait for him to answer?
roll, it would show up on the attitude indicator, right? Okay. So if you were to fly from the North Pole or, to say Australia to the south under here, would your attitude indicator be upside down?
No, it wouldn't.
Welcome to Flat Earth. What happened? How come if the attitude indicator didn't flip upside down and maintain rigidity in space, you got a problem here?
Okay, because again, when you look at like this on a map where the plane is literally it's like almost the length of the Earth, right?
What the hell's he babbling about? When you look on a map, it's almost the length of the Earth. What the hell is he babbling about?
He's complaining that my diagram, like they always do, it's just a non sequitur. Just because the plane looks big on my diagram, it's not going to be the same thing.
But his map will be a flat map, won't it?
Yeah, he's just trying to complain that my diagram, the
His
plane's
complaint is that it's not to scale. Yeah, I got that. But his appeal to overcome your not to scale globe Earth at 90 degrees, regardless of the scale, your point is that you're going to have the attitude indicator at 180 degrees from its original point if you're at the bottom of a sphere antipodal from your starting point. It doesn't matter about the scale. But his appeal to overcome that non sequitur rebuttal is, well, on my flat map. Okay, you're on your flat map. It's flat.
Right, when you're
can we both
1 second.
agree?
Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a critique as well. The attitude indicator wouldn't be upside down. It would be with respect to the zero, that his pitch would be way below the zero. The attitude indicator would not be upside down.
It would be out completely, right? Is that right in saying that?
Well, he could never have an above horizontal pitch at any point. It would be horizontal at cruising altitude, and from that point, from that very moment, it would have to start being below horizontal.
Sorry, are you saying this because it's beyond the limits of the cage, or whatever they call it? Is it the cage that they call it?
No, to fly around the globe, mathematically, the only way you could do that would be when you first reach cruising altitude. For that very moment, you will be horizontal, but you won't be above horizontal. You can't be. This is the thing about it. You can't be above horizontal. And then from that very second on, there's a second-by-second accumulation of below horizontal pitch. This above horizontal pitch thing, that's only in reality, where they're generating lift over a flat plane. For a globe, none of that can happen. It can only be a below horizontal pitch that's accumulated more and more over time. So you're talking 7.24 degrees after 1 hour of flight at 500 miles per hour. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it makes the gyro is completely, nearly pointless at that point. But it only tells you how many. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Gotcha.
The gyro, yeah.
Even if we shrink these planes down, you won't be able to see it, but it'll do the same thing. It's going to fly a curved line.
Yeah, just like a car when it goes up on a bridge, right? When it's going over the bridge, it's aimed like this, and it goes up there.
So if your attitude indicator maintains rigid in space, and you keep a positive attitude, right? You're not changing the plane's orientation in straight level flight. How is it you go from here to here without nosing down?
Oh, again, you do nose down, but it's a gradual. Because the plane in level flight actually flies about 2 degrees nose up.
You said
That's that same dude. So when you point out that in order to be on a ball you've got to nose down, he basically defies his own globe faith that he used in rebuttal in his original video. You having me on?
that the attitude indicator maintains rigid in space, right?
Yes. The attitude indicator just gives us reference to our pitch relative to the horizon. That's it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, pitch with respect to the horizon. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, the attitude indicator that he's talking about, that zero, that can't be parallel to the plane of the horizon if the horizon is not an horizon, but the a curved geometric leading edge of a globe.
Exactly.
They can't be parallel to each other.
He's using it as an axiomatic principle to level the plane. Welcome to Flat Earth.
if you were to see the pitch data for your plane flying, would it be nosing down in that pitch data to follow the curvature of the Earth, like you said before?
Again, not really, because I also said in the video.
He just literally said it would do, and you wouldn't notice. Yes, it would. It's just gradual. You don't notice. Well, would it show it in the pitch data? Not really. So you would have it, and you wouldn't notice, and it wouldn't really be in the data. Is this guy a muppet? No,
What
he's
he's
just.
saying
No,
is
hold on.
Sorry.
No, he's not a muppet. He's just screwed because of the pitch data. You don't nose down around a bloody globe Earth. That's a fact. So you need to believe it, though. You need to believe it's imperceivable. Yeah, you just don't notice that we're nosing down. So we nose down and we record it in the data. No, not really. So it's just a belief that you nose down and you don't really notice, even though you can document it as not doing that. Yeah, that's what you got to do if you're a globe believer. That's what the pitch data does. This is the power of the pitch data. Yeah, Brian.
Apologies, Nathan. I thought you were finished at that point. No, I was just actually going to state that what he is doing is trying to hijack, this is what they're all trying to do, hijack the pitch data and claim a zero difference result. So they're trying to make you believe that a straight line and a curved path are the same thing. That's what they're trying to make you believe.
At Duncan McLeod, he says, reference to what? Lol. Yeah, horizontal plane. He's already said it, the horizon. He needs that principle to hold true as an axiom. That's what he's referencing. He's referencing it to maintain level flight, nose up with respect to it. Thanks for the super chat.
That's why I always use the word horizontal as opposed to level. Because when it comes to horizontal, they will try to mess you around. If you say level, some of them will just go, yeah, and agree with you. Because they are going to insert their crazy version of level, right? That isn't real in reality. Because they don't want to admit that horizontal is level and level is horizontal. But if you say the word horizontal, that's when they're really screwed. Because then they've got to make up all kinds of crazy nonsense. on the spot.
We're talking about how well this knife cuts, but somebody's got to wield it. So props to Angels of Light. This is very, very effective. We'll continue to listen, but it's you wielding this knife, and kudos to you for wielding it in such an effective manner.
You can descend, but I'm saying you can descend.
Wait, hang on, that's a major fault.
I can descend the airplane, and the nose is still pitched up.
Sorry, you can descend, pitch up. What?
Yeah, coming into landing, they're going to be pitched up. They're always pitched up. The only time that they will pitch below horizontal is if they have to drop in altitudes from time to time. And they will do that briefly, and everyone will have to be in their seats with the seatbelts on. What he's talking about is coming into land and taking off. Yeah, most of the time they're always pitched up. There's only the very small amount of time they're pitched down, and that is purely for a descent. You know what I mean? So him saying, I can descend. You can descend by pitching up and pulling back on the power. Yeah, you can descend like that. What has that got to do with the horizontal you haven't broken? He hasn't broken horizontal. That's the point. 0 on the pitch data is horizontal. He hasn't broken that throughout his flight.
Attitude is not necessarily an indication. When I come into land, I'm descending. My nose is about 3 degrees up.
Welcome to Flat Earth. Every time you say you don't need to nose down, that's proving. So let's say this flat line is.
Hang on 1 second. He said if he's coming into land, his nose is about 3 degrees up. Maybe at the very last, not even at that. No, it's about 10 degrees. Or 10, maybe 12 degrees. 10 degrees, anyways, for a landing. What's he talking about? Is this guy one of these pretend pilots?
You talking about when they flare the plane to give a nice cushy landing? Is that what he's talking about?
Well, he said earlier on he flies with about a 2 degree above horizontal pitch. If he's a commercial pilot for a start, it won't be 2. It'll be between 3 and 5. And if he's coming into landing, it'll be kind of 10, 11 degrees. He won't go too high because it'll cause a stall. This could be one of these people who are pretending to be a pilot. Or they're a pilot of some kind, but they're not a commercial pilot. Or God knows what kind of nonsense. I don't know. I'm iffy about this guy.
He claimed to be a commercial pilot, by the way. But yeah.
Well, look, I was in this subject 3 months and I had about 8 people tell me they're astronauts. You know what I mean? So people will make those claims.
The furthest?
Yeah, with a positive attitude.
I mean, I can show you. I was just showing, what's his name, Caleb? I was just showing.
Like in miles, I guess. Like how far? Like where?
So in miles, this one is about 4,800. This one I did to Europe. So.
What's the straight linear distance? Flat.
See, I just asked him. I don't know if you guys got that properly, but what I asked him was, what's the furthest distance you've flown with a positive pitch? He just said it was 4,800 miles. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, the mile designation and the attitude above the horizon, which can be verified by pitch data, proves Earth is flat with every single aspect of that example that he just detailed. But he's holding up a globe projection. So in his mind, because he's got Google Earth up, the straight linear distance that you detailed in miles is suddenly curved? I'm afraid not.
Oh, but again...
4,800 miles.
Yes, but again...
Wait. You flew with a positive pitch for 48,000 miles.
To maintain level or nose up, to climb or even sometimes descend. You
need a flat Earth to reference for all of those. He doesn't even know what he's saying, does he? Fly level? No. You don't ever fly level if you're on a globe. There is no flying level on a globe, but you fly level. Or nose up with respect to level. Horizontal, Brian. My bad.
You're obsessed with the pitch.
Yeah, because it proves you're flying with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. That's what the pitch shows. Yeah? You nose up with respect to it for the whole 48,000 miles.
Nathan, I don't want to be the level Nazi and telling people, don't use level. I'm just saying to make sure that everyone understands and that that person agrees that the 0 on the attitude indicator is horizontal. You know what I mean? Because he'll quite happily say level, and it's level with the center of a globe, which is not level. That's you know what I mean? Well, we're going through it for years with them. That's not level. But a lot of these people are okay with saying level, yeah, because they're talking about their belief, and yet the average person thinks that they're talking about reality.
This plane at the equator, relative to where it started from, is nose down, right? In space, in the air?
Yes, the one that looks like the Independence Day plane. Yes, if you.
Yeah, you mean the one that's got to be nosing down and isn't in your pitch data? Is this another appeal to scale?
That's how long is that flight? Like,
No. So if it's nose down relative to where it started, you'd have to adjust for curvature, right?
Yes, and what you're getting.
Yeah, you don't. You don't though, do you? That's the problem. Yeah? Bosh, pitch data. There you go. You don't.
Hang on. But you just said you flew 4,800 miles and you had a positive pitch. Do you know how much curvature is in 48,000 miles?
Right, but again, did you also see in the video how I showed you right here? So if I was to show you that right there, right? So I've done this before. I've taken a video and sped it up. And it goes like this. It's like a little, like a precision, like thing like this. It goes like this. So it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. All it cares about is maintaining that altitude. That's it. It does.
Altitude? What? The height above the horizontal plane of reference in feet or meters?
I get it, by the way.
Not care about anything else.
How often does it go below horizontal, below zero?
It depends. Not very often. Sometimes. But again,
dude, you're proving my point every time. You're going to be a good flat earther.
The autopilot is constantly making adjustments to where the plane wants to go. Over a matter of 5 hours, it's not enough time in there to actually notice a curvature there.
So, 1 second. The autopilot's doing nothing but holding the exact position it was left at. That's what autopilot does. The whole point of the autopilot is to hold the same altitude. And it will hold that with the same pitch that it's left at. That's what the autopilot does. The autopilot was on for those 2 hours from 8:05 to 10:05 in the pitch data. And there's basically no change to the pitch. The autopilot just holds the pitch, holds the airspeed, and that automatically holds the altitude. The pilot gets to that position, then presses autopilot, just like the cruise control in your car. Right, you press on cruise control, it holds the speed. Whether it's going up a hill, down a hill, whatever, it holds the speed. That's what it does.
And the Earth doesn't drop down and away from you because the Earth is not curved. You just maintain that same altitude with the same pitch.
Have you got a link to this guy's channel? Did you say he got a YouTube channel?
He's got a TikTok, yeah.
I don't want to send people to TikTok. It's actually against YouTube's terms of service. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, is it? I don't know that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to send people off platform. So YouTube's whole raison d'etre is to be keeping you on their platform as long as possible. So if I share a link that says, go to this other platform, that's actually against their terms of service. Well, not a lot of people know that. But there you go. Anyway, I think we've covered enough of that. Was there any more chunks of him talking that we needed to cover? There's only 60 odd seconds.
At the end, I just show on Google Earth, and I draw a line that is 4,800 miles, and I basically show how much curvature that has that he didn't account for, which is the end of the video. But
yeah, it's kind of against my methodology. I like to just point out that it's flat, and that's how it's been measured. You're a bit like Brian in that regard. You like to show them how it's not curving, which is fine. Everyone does it their own way.
No, that's not what Brian does. Brian shows them the proof that it's flat, and then shows them with their responses how their responses fail to the proof that it's flat.
I actually have a lot of footage of me debating him. This is like a little chunk. I spoke to him for like 2 hours. And there's more, there's literally 7 more clips where he literally proves it's flat with what he says. The poor guy, he didn't know pretty much anything. It's crazy. It's he is literally just a bus driver learning to use his machine, right? But to fly over the Earth, he doesn't know how to. Dude, I'm telling you, he didn't know what rigidity in space was. When I asked him in this video, he actually didn't know what it meant, because afterwards he asked me, he goes, what is this rigidity in space thing you're actually talking about? I'm like, wait, you don't know what that is? I had to explain it to him.
But at the same
he can't
token,
be a pilot.
no, it can be. He doesn't need to know what that means. The principle in operation that the gyroscope offers him is what he needs to know, and he's demonstrated that in spades, right? He understands the principle to the point where he's making our flat Earth point for us when he talks about it. Now, he doesn't know how that doesn't connect to a globe. He thinks it does. He doesn't know how it physically functions mechanically, gyroscopically. He doesn't need to. That's why this cognitive break is occurring with you, because he doesn't know. But he doesn't need to be a pilot. So I don't like this kind of crossover where people assume that pilots are engineers. They're not.
Yeah. I thought pilots would know that. I honestly did.
You're not the first to say it.
I'd like to see his video where he filmed the attitude indicator and he sped up the film. I'd like to see that.
I think I put it in the. I'm not sure if it was the one he showed on his reply to me.
Oh, that would be awesome. What is showing?
Yeah, that's the thing. I asked him, dude. I asked him for that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because if we've got that real time, or it's not real time, but what he took in real time and sped up, that's the visual representation of the pitch data, isn't it, Brian? Very nice. Yes, please.
Yeah, from a commercial
Exactly.
Yes, please. I'll have that. Yeah, can we get hold of that? I'll take that, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I actually asked him for it. I want to ask him to do a time lapse of it, like for an hour or something. Because I think he said he had a 30-second one. It wasn't the time lapse, but it was just 30 seconds.
No,
so I want him to do like a full hour.
Yeah. So 30 seconds could represent quite a significant period of time. I'll take that all day long. That's excellent. If he's got his pitch data on the visual representation that he gets in the cockpit, I'll take that every day of the week. Yes, please. Yes, please. To put next to the data itself. Oh, yes, please.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because
I got a little snippet of it.
Filmed it, and then when you speed it up, you can see that it does small little changes, but it never. You know what I mean? It will do small little tiny changes, but it won't ever be. It'll never be going below horizontal.
Below.
The changes will be all erratic as well. It won't be specific.
Yeah, it's never going to drop below horizontal. Like he already admitted that anyway. Like he wanted to say it does, but he knows it doesn't.
Well, there will be times when it will, but it'll only be brief times when they're descending, and everyone will have to be in their seats with the seatbelts on, as is shown in the pitch data. That pitch data was brilliant because it has everything in it. Because it could have been just like I would have been quite happy, actually, to be honest with you, with a 9-hour flight where basically 8.5 hours of it was just straight and level. But this data, the data we have, shows that when they pitch down, there's a change in altitude. So pitching down creates a change in altitude in the negative. Do you know what I mean? You're descending. So if there's pitching down going on, that means you will be descending. If you're not pitching down, you're flying in a straight line. That's it.
Yeah, I saw that on the pitch data. Yeah, definitely. Like when the plane just briefly goes below horizontal, you see the altitude, and it directly correlates to it going down and descending.
Yeah, that's why I put the two in the presentation. I put it together where I have both the pitch data and the altitude section. I took them out and amalgamated the two together to show that the one is directly correlating to the other. The altitude is directly correlating to the pitch, because it has to. They're just trying to make people believe that a straight horizontal line can be a circle. That's all they're trying to do. That's the basis of it. They're trying to claim a zero difference result. Like I've even had a commercial pilot. Now this guy is definitely a commercial pilot, right? He's had decades as a commercial pilot. I've been dealing with for years, not Wolfie, someone else on YouTube. And he tried to ask me, what would the pitch data look like on a flat Earth, right? It's like, are you for real? Do you think I'm that stupid? I said, nice try. You're trying to hijack the pitch data for a globe and have me come up with some other pitch data. The pitch data, what you see in the official NTSB pitch data that I produced, that I got from one person on your side, that is what you will see over a flat Earth. Where's your globe pitch data? So they're trying to hijack the pitch data and just claim a zero difference result. You know, you would be counting for curvature, but you'd never know it. You know what I mean? It is rotating, but you would never know it. You know, there's nothing there to show it. There's no effects of it. There's nothing there. You don't notice it. You don't feel it. You know, but it is happening. You know, this kind of thing. This is what they want you to believe. Dropping below, like any pitch below horizontal is a descent. I even showed that a couple of years ago. Just 1 second, Angels. I even showed that a couple of years ago in a video that I got it from Boeing, where they were stating that a pitch below horizontal is officially a descent. Anything that's a pitch below horizontal is officially a descent. Officially, in Boeing, Lockheed, anyone, officially, it's a descent. Now, you can't fly around the globe and not pitch below horizontal. But every time they pitch below horizontal, they're descending towards the Earth. That is only possible if the Earth is a flat plane.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, he said he flew 4,800 miles with a positive pitch, right? That's about 2,500 miles of drop on their supposed globe that he didn't account for.
You're not going to get a response from me when you bring that sort of thing up.
No, it's just yeah, okay, it's flat then. That's all you had to say at that point. Like, it's flat. Because you know what? So, like, I did show the amount of drop that would happen over those 2 hours with that show on the pitch data. I did show that in GeoGebra on a globe and all the rest of it for the visual for people to see as part of the presentation. But I don't need to bring that up in reality. Like, if I'm talking to one of them, I don't need to bring it up. I just, like, is horizontal a curved line? You know, if they say yeah, then I can just laugh at them. You know what I mean? If they say no, I say, welcome to flat Earth. It's that simple. They're the two responses. I don't need. You can look at my channel. Look at what even my most recent video, which is directly connected to the pitch data. Look at the nonsense that's in there, and then go back to the video before that, which is connected to their responses to the pitch data presentation. Look at and in the video, the mirror I did of the pitch data presentation. Look at the responses in there. Look at what's going on in there. You know, anyone that's claiming horizontal is a curved line, you can only laugh at them.
Yeah, are they trying to claim that because of gravity or whatever, when the plane is going around the globe, it's like resetting horizontal or something?
Yeah, but the problem with that is I addressed that in my responses. That's one of the things they try to claim, right? That I knew they were, because I've heard that from years ago, right? But they don't understand. They don't even understand what the whole purpose of the pendulous vanes is to create extra rigidity for the gyroscope. So they're claiming a gyroscope that's fluid in space. But no, if that's zero on the attitude indicator, let's say you set that with the autopilot to 3 degrees above, right, the zero. If that zero is changing its position, its pitch in relation to itself. So horizontal is changing its orientation in relation to horizontal, right? That's how ridiculous it is. But if that's changing, that's a mechanical instrument that's changing its pitch position. That doesn't mean that the plane is following the mechanical instrument. I mean, if the plane doesn't follow the gyro is just purely a spun-up reference for horizontal. When that changes, if autopilot is on, the autopilot doesn't follow it. So what would happen in that circumstances, over the course of 20 minutes, half an hour, what would happen is that because the zero would be pitching down away from the original 3 degrees above position, right? So if that zero pitches down 2 degrees, now the plane is 5 degrees above. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because the plane, it would just like, unless the pilot is following the zero, is sitting there constantly following the zero, and the plane is a constant downward pitch, which it was going to have. To follow that zero, they have to pitch down below the initial horizontal, right? And to follow to keep in line with that moving zero, they would have to be there constantly watching it and doing it. You can't go to the toilet or get a cup of coffee because the plane is going to start rising in altitude because your pitch is getting higher above that zero. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
What's
yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
up in altitude. It's just, it doesn't, like, just look at my video. You can see it. See the responses in there. Look at the video.
Yeah, I
Or
get
show
exactly
what
what you're
happened,
saying,
or
and
show
this is
the outcome of what they're claiming.
yeah, it's so silly. Like that, you can't claim that the plane is flying over a globe, but you're not adjusting for curvature, right? Like, I just don't understand how these globers don't see this. Like it's a nail in the coffin, like another nail in the coffin. It's pretty much like, I think it was Nathan said it. Yeah, it's a Black Swan 2.0 argument. The pitch data. It's a destroyer, right?
Yeah,
You
I have
can't
people say that to
claim.
me in flat sides. Go on,
Yeah, you can't claim that gyroscope maintains rigid in space, but then in the same sentence you say no, it's curving around the gravity vector as well, because then you're relinquishing the fact that it maintains rigid in space. You're taking that away when you say that. Even the pilot, this one, I told him, he tried to kind of claim that. I'm like, dude, well, we don't need a gyroscope now. It doesn't maintain rigid in space now. It's useless.
Yeah, but even the arguing about the gyroscope, that's my point, you see, what I was trying to say there a few minutes ago. Even that is pointless. If they're claiming the gyroscope is now fluid in space and changes its orientation in relation to itself, so then it's pitching below the horizontal that it was at to create a new horizontal that's at a different pitch angle to the old horizontal, right? As crazy as that is, that doesn't mean that the plane automatically follows that gyro. The plane is set, right, to the reference the gyro was at, right, at autopilot. If that gyro changes its position by 3 degrees, goes down, let's say it changes the zero by 3 degrees below the initial zero after half an hour or whatever, then that doesn't mean that the plane, the autopilot followed it. It doesn't follow it. It holds the same reference, the same horizontal it was following, it's holding. So if that claimed horizontal is changing, which is impossible, then that doesn't make any difference to the plane. The plane is still in the same orientation and the same pitch above the initial horizontal it was in. That's how it works. That's what I'm saying. Autopilot wouldn't even exist in the way it is at present if that was the situation, right? And pilots would have to be there constantly following the zero.
Okay, I'm just going to do a couple of quick shout-outs. So I want to shout out Michael, Gary, Thor, Liam, and Joseph for hitting me up on PayPal while the show's literally running. So Joseph hit me up and said, here are some money via PayPal. So thank you very much. I will send you all emails thanking you for your contributions and kindness and generosity. So thank you very much. Just wanted to do a quick shout out for those of you who've hit me up on PayPal. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, and this argument they do with the pendulous vanes is just a complete non sequitur. Like you said, pendulous vanes just give extra rigidity in space, but they're trying to claim, because I can do a barrel roll and it knocks the gyroscope back. It's adjusting for the curvature. Well, no, right? Also, pendulous vanes, even though that we shouldn't even be talking about them at all, like when they bring them up, but pendulous vanes were invented 25 years after the attitude indicator. So it's a complete non-sequitur. Some planes don't even use it.
I know. I mean, but pendulous vanes are just a damper system. And I know they were invented 25 years way after. It wouldn't even matter if it was 1 year. Do you know what I mean? The point is that they weren't in existence when the original planes were in existence. All they do is work off a vacuum. They just hold the down direction via vacuum. They're just purely, the whole purpose of them is to make sure that the gyro continually holds horizontal and doesn't change its own orientation. That's the stupid thing about it.
The pilot didn't wrap his head around that. The rigidity in space wasn't his strong suit, was it, Angels?
He didn't know what rigidity in space was. And then afterwards, when I'd spoken to him for 2 hours and he'd proven flat Earth 10 times, I'm like, as a joke, I'm like, do you know what pendulous vanes are? And he goes, nope.
Say to you, Angels, I like your videos, and I like that you're dealing with these people on TikTok. But I would say the best thing for you to do, if someone's coming at you, including this guy, even though you've talked to him in the past, who's claiming to be a commercial pilot, you tell him, prove it. Because there's so many bullshitters out there, right? And I did this to loads of people on YouTube who are coming forward saying, I'm a commercial pilot. Prove it, right? If there's certain things that, if they can't prove it, then go away. Because the people I ended up talking to, there was about 4 or 5 commercial pilots, and they were genuine commercial pilots. Now, they're crazy people in some ways, but they're still commercial pilots. You know, Woodley's definitely a pilot. Trevor Austin, definitely a pilot, and there was 3 others that disappeared. I can't. They definitely fly or can fly a commercial airliner. Whether they do it as they know about it. Like I even had Trevor Austin, who's the last commercial pilot that's in my comments these days. Even he corrects the ballers sometimes when they're trying to correct me when they're wrong. He knows his knowledge on the situation is, you know, he's definitely a commercial pilot, or at least has that level of knowledge.
Sorry to interrupt again. Just another shout out to Philip. I don't know why I've had a couple of people smashing PayPal while we're live. I mean, I'm happy to read them out. It doesn't normally happen, so just because literally a couple of people have smashed the PayPal link while we've been live. But Philip, thank you very much. It says, for my good mate Nathan, really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for these PayPals. I don't know why, it's like buses, none of them come and then suddenly there's a whole bunch of them all at once. Well, by a whole bunch, I mean 2.
Who cares? Just count it up.
It's not normally a regular occurrence that people literally hit PayPal while I'm live. So I don't normally. It's not.
I want everyone to hit the PayPal because Nathan's done a lot of work.
Indeed, but I'm going to round out the live show. I don't want it to be seemed mercenary and just staying live just so I can e-beg longer on PayPal, as there's been a couple of generous souls. But I am going to round out on that note. So if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who hit the super chat, joined as a member, hit me up on PayPal while we were live and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels, and I will see you all in the next video.